everyone. Good morning. How is everyone on this incredible Tuesday morning? I hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. As usual, just bear with me a sec if that's all right, just so I can set up to see that I am going live. Yes, look at that. We've got an echo happening, so I'm going live. Fantastic. Hey, everyone. As I said, I hope you're having a great week so far. If you don't know why I'm coming live, I come live every single Tuesday morning in 3 different places. So I'm going live into my Facebook group, Confident Successful Business Owners, into LinkedIn, and also on my Facebook profile. So if you are watching from one of those 3 places, say g'day, because I love to feel like we're in the room together rather than me speaking to a camera in my office, guys. And so I come live to share these business growth insights with you. So I can see that we have Kaz watching, we have Brooke watching, we have Parmay watching. Hey everybody, lovely to have you joining us. Now, today's topic for business growth insights is time savers to optimize your output in business. My God, who doesn't want to save more time, not only in their business, but in their life as well, right? Tell me, who's all about this? Who wants to know, yes, I want to know how to save time in my business, Ali, because I feel like I've got, as my dear friend Susie Manley would say, I feel like I've got octopus arms, everything, saying I'm trying to do everything at once. And I think that is something that happens, I know it's something that happens a lot in business, because they're not only are we responsible to get the sales, right, and responsible to bring in the money, but it's all the other stuff that happens as well that we need to do. So this is why we're going to talk about how best to save your time. Hello, Brenda. How are you going, Brenda? We've got a LinkedIn user watching us. So good to have you joining us. Lovely. Now, also too, as you can say, so Brenda's name has come up as LinkedIn user. If you would like your name to come up like Parmay, all you need to do is just go to the link in the description of this live and give StreamYard, which is the platform that I'm using to go live, give StreamYard permission to see your name. And then you will come up as Parmay with your name. Good morning, Facebook user. How are you? Lovely to have you joining us. All right. Okay. So without further ado, everyone, I'm going to start today's training, which is all about time savers, like I said, to optimize your output and save time, right? Okay. We all want to do it. We all need to do it. And it's also can be, believe it or not, an actual fun thing to do in business when you actually start implementing it and putting these things into practice. So the first thing I'm going to suggest, if you are not already doing this, start scheduling things. Schedule your week, okay? The first thing I'm going to say to you is stop playing a guessing game with yourself. I don't know about you, but when I started business, and even when I was working in paid employment, you'd walk into the work week, and if you didn't have a schedule there to follow, it would literally be like you're flying by the seat of your pants. All right. And it creates confusion right from the start, from the beginning of the week. Hey, Natty, how are you, love? And so we want to schedule our week. Right? Schedule things right from the start. You can schedule your week, your month, your day, whatever. But have a regular routine to follow as much as possible. Because having a regular routine, right, it makes it so much easier on your brain to know what's coming, what's ahead for you each day, right? And of course, yes, in business and in life, as much as you've got a schedule, of course, you're going to have those little things that are going to pop up all the time, those little issues, we call them fires that you might need to put out, whatever it is. But when you have a schedule, when you have a routine happening, those little fires that pop up every now and then, they're going to be so much easier to put out. Those little issues or things that crop up are going to be so much easier to handle as you come across them, because in your brain, you understand your routine and you're going to be able to fit these other things in a lot easier. All right. So the other thing you want to do is make an appointment. Make appointments in your diary with yourself. I cannot stress how important this is. And this is something that my coach used to say, and I will never forget it. She said, when you put an appointment in your diary with yourself, right? So if you, for instance, you're going to say, I'm going to do my social media, okay? When you put that in your diary, treat that with the importance that you would treat a client sales call, a potential client sales call. It is an appointment with yourself. It's a non-negotiable. So make sure that, you are putting these things in your diary, whether it's a Google Calendar, whether it's a planner, whatever it is, but it's an appointment with yourself, and it is just as important, okay? The next thing you can do is time block specific tasks. So I've just mentioned it, right? So I do this all the time, like Mondays, and I'll talk about, planning out your week in a little bit, but say Mondays are my planning day for the week. As I know, a lot of people have their Mondays are similar. So I will put in my diary things like I need to write my weekly emails. I'll time block that out, right? I'll give myself a certain amount of time to do that. I do my social media for the next week. Again, I'll give myself a certain amount of time to do that. But it all goes in my diary. It's an appointment with myself, so it gets treated as an important appointment, right? And the exciting thing is too, and this is what I have found, when you time block specific tasks, the more you do those tasks and you're concentrating solely on them, so you're not multitasking, which I think is a big mistake that a lot of us try to do in business as well. The more you do those tasks, the better you get at them while you're solely concentrating on that task. And then, so obviously, the better you get at it, the less time it's going to take. So, of course, what are you going to create for yourself? More time to do other stuff, right? Can you see how this is working? Let me know if you're picking down what I'm picking up what I'm putting down. That's what I meant to say. It'll come out right in a minute. The other thing too that you can do, which is really fun to do, is batch create content. This is a process that can really help some people if that's the best way that your brain works. Okay, especially if it's, for instance, a task that you don't really, really enjoy. If it's a task that you don't enjoy, I mean, there are all things that we need. Thank you, Natty, you're picking it up. Unreal. There are always things in business that we don't like to do. And I've said this time and time again, that I'm not a fan of writing emails. I don't know why. It's just something I would rather come and talk to you guys on a training like this than sit down and write an email. So when I write my emails, I tend to batch create the content, right? And this, for instance, you can say, when I mean batch it, I mean do a month's worth of emails all at once to get it out of the way. Or even if it's not necessarily writing the emails, it's a month's worth of email ideas or email subject headings. So by the time you get to write the email, it's not like, what am I going to write this email on today? Because you've batched it, you've already got all the subjects ready to go. Have to tackle tasks I don't like first. Yes. And what do we call that, Natty? I know you know what it's called. I'm going to put you to the test now. She's going to go, oh no, she's testing me. Yes, good idea, batching. And honestly, what I find is I end up appreciating it, and it ends up a lot of fun, batch creating content, because once you've done it, you know it's out of the way, and it's like, oh, thank God, I don't have to think about that for the next month, or however long you batch it for. Okay, so great ideas there. All right, now let's go more into having a routine. Yes, we just spoke about that before, but we're reiterating what we just said. Honestly, though, when you set regular daily, weekly routines as much as you possibly can. Now, let me tell you that until I had a reasonably set routine in my business, I felt like I was working hard but getting nothing done. And so something that I suggest is having certain days for different parts of your business. And the way I started doing this, when I started to create a routine for myself, was like I've just said, Monday's a planning day. Tuesdays were, now I'm trying to think how I did this because it's a little bit different now. When I started my business, so Monday was planning days. Tuesdays were, what were Tuesdays? Tuesdays were client days. Wednesdays were sales calls days. Thursdays were sales calls and client days, if I could possibly do it. And Fridays became preparing, like social media prep day, preparing for the next week. So it was like in my head, I would wake up, and like that's really basic, right? And of course, different things happen during the day, but at least I would wake up on a Tuesday and go, right, in my mind, today I am serving my clients. And I knew exactly what I had to do that day, right? I was prepared mentally. So it was a routine that I had. Hey, Diane. And it just made everything so much easier in my brain. Now, when you have a routine, again, if you think about it, an organized mind creates an organized business, or more organized business, right? Organization helps you feel successful, and therefore, because you're feeling successful, you're going to become successful. Feel successful, look successful, become successful. That's really hard to say when you've got a list. But this is why having a routine, getting yourself organized, is just imperative for business. And of course, it's going to help you get so much more done. You are going to get so much more done. You will, like I said, when you batch those tasks, or you set time aside to do those tasks, the better you get at them, the more time you get, the more easier your routine becomes. And as you go along, you can, of course, it's not like it's a set routine, but yes, you can change it up to suit you as you go. Like my routine now, from when I started my business, is I'm not going to say it's completely different. Mondays are still planning day, but the rest of my week has changed as my business has grown, and my structure of the business has changed slightly as well. Right? Can you see what I mean? So having a routine will absolutely help improve your productivity and increase it as well. The more you're used to it, the more time you can save. Absolutely. Now, guys, are you doing this? Are you taking breaks? I came across a quote yesterday and I loved it. Balance is not something you find. It's something that you create for yourself. And part of that is taking breaks throughout the day. I have, often fallen into the trap of not taking a break and sat at my desk for hours on end, and then wondered why, when I go back, I can see that I've made mistakes in my work, or that it's not as good as it could have been, right? And so, you want to put your breaks in your diary as well. This is part of your scheduling, right? Part of your routine. It's a good quote, isn't it, Nanny? Yeah, it's a great quote. And so make sure that, when I have my lunch break scheduled in my calendar. And what I love is my beautiful Parme, one of my virtual assistants, especially when we're holding our virtual expos, even though she knows me really well. She knows that even though I've got my lunch break on those 3 extremely busy days in my business, even though I've got it in my diary, she knows that I might ignore it. So she sends me a message going, have you had your lunch yet? Have you taken a break? So she reminds me, because she understands, we both understand, and I do the same for her. We both understand the importance of stepping away for a bit, taking a break. And something that you can do is, I would suggest at least 5 minutes every hour, 10 minutes if you can manage it, right? Get up and walk around, make yourself a cuppa, go and pat the cat, walk outside. whatever it is you need to do to just get up and walk away from that work environment for a little bit. When I was working in paid employment, I think it was a lot easier to do this because there were people around. So it was easier to get up every night, to say, I really need to stretch my legs. I'll go and talk to someone in the staff room, or I'll just go and, visit that person in their office. And, it was a lot easier to do. But when you're home, and as many of us do, probably most of us are working home in our office all by ourselves, we forget about it. We forget to stand up and take that 5 minutes. And I know yesterday I had an extremely busy day yesterday, and I could feel it when I was getting to that point where my brain was no longer functioning well. And that was when I knew that I had to walk away. Just, whatever, one stage just to get out, I went and checked the mail. It wasn't a terribly exciting trip, but it was just getting out of that environment for a minute. All right. So a walk is refreshing. Yeah, it's great to have a walk if you can possibly do it. I absolutely love going for lunchtime walks. I live 5 minutes from the beach in Adelaide, and something that I am definitely going to do, and I'm doing it more now that the weather's getting better, is going for a lunchtime walk, even if it's 15 minutes. Great. Getting me out of the office, right? So also take breaks because it helps conserve your energy. Again, your mind, you are going to think better. You are not going to feel as exhausted by the time you get to the end of the day, because you have allowed yourself those breaks, right? So it absolutely helps conserve your energy, as well as refreshes the brain and the body. So when you come back, right, to your work or whatever you're doing, it's highly less likely that you're going to make mistakes that could have been avoided because you didn't take breaks, right? So you're going to be able to think quicker, you're going to be able to think better, you're going to be able to have much more creativity, much better creativity. Again, yesterday when I was walking away, basically I'm filming, right? I'm filming some lessons for a course that I'm putting together, and so that takes a lot of brain power, and to have to do that for hours on end without a break is exhausting. So I had to, and of course I'm on camera, so I've got to look decent. So I had to walk away. I had to do it regularly, walk away. So, and let me be honest here. I don't know if anyone else is watching this, and sometimes when you have a break like that, do you feel like it's a waste of time? And yet, deep down that it's not a waste of time because it's going to help you. But sometimes there's this little niggling voice in your head that makes you feel guilty for daring to take a break, right? And this is what I want to know, why would you feel guilty about it? But this is what we talk ourselves into. So breaks are really, really important. Eat healthy food to keep your mind active and healthy. Well said, Natty. Yes. Yes, you feel guilty. Yeah, I know. It's silly. Isn't it silly that we feel guilty? We put that guilt on ourselves when actually it's the opposite. We should feel proud of ourselves for taking breaks. All right, let's talk procrastination, people. Look out. So don't overthink a task. Just do it. And this is something that we do. We actually tell ourselves that things are going to be hard. And when we tell ourselves that things are going to be hard and difficult, guess what? They're going to be. That's just how it's going to work. But what you're essentially doing is by saying, like for me, writing emails. Oh, emails are hard, right? So I keep telling myself they're going to be hard, and they are, but they don't have to be, right? But also what you're doing is by telling yourself that it's all too hard, is you're actually making excuses on why you're giving yourself a reason and an excuse to procrastinate. Don't procrastinate, because guess what? It's still going to be there tomorrow, right? So one really important thing to do is minimize as many distractions as you can, because distractions, again, something else that allow, they kind of force procrastination, if you like. This is what I call, and I'm so guilty of this sometimes, and I constantly have to bring myself back, it's mindless clicking. When you're just sitting there and you're clicking around on social media and you're clicking and you're doing a random Google search and you're clicking on this and you're clicking on that, and then you end up on, down a deep, dark rabbit hole on YouTube watching things that you really know that you shouldn't be watching because you should be doing other stuff, right? You're procrastinating because you have allowed yourself to get distracted. I'm so guilty of that. I'm not going to lie. So this is why when you go into like a webinar or something, people will say, close down the other tabs that you've got open, put your phone on silent or turn it off, right? Even when you do that too, Nanny, I get it, right? Even when you go to the theatre, they'll tell you, right, turn your phone off. There's other reasons why they do it, but it's a distraction that they want you to enjoy the show, right? And you want to enjoy the show. So minimize as many distractions as you possibly can. Give yourself deadlines is a huge one. I find deadlines, and I was literally thinking about this morning too. Deadlines are really important to give yourself something to work towards. Okay, this is all part of goal setting and planning. And like I said, I was thinking about this morning because I've got this big launch coming up later in the year, but something that I haven't done yet is I haven't put an official date on the launch. So I'm doing all this work, which is great. I'm not procrastinating, but I'm doing all this work and I haven't got a deadline. I don't actually know when I'm working towards. So one of my goals today is to actually sit down and go, all right, give yourself a deadline, Ali. It's going to be so much easier to be able to plan out the next few weeks and all the stuff that I need. I know, right? I need a date, Natty. I know. It's going to be so much easier to plan out the next few weeks in order to achieve what I need to achieve. And this is what I say. No one is perfect in business. Absolutely no one. So give yourself deadlines. It's really, really important. And that'll help keep you focused very much so as well. Now, something that I suggest everyone does is check in with an accountability partner. Give someone permission in your life, someone who you trust, to challenge you, to hold you accountable. It's actually something really fun to do. I have an accountability partner who I met in a course that I did about 4.5 years ago, and we still challenge each other every single week, most weeks, not every week, but she's my accountability partner. If I haven't done something, she'll challenge me. She'll go, why not? Why didn't you do it? Same thing with her. I'll challenge her as well. And it's almost like when you know you've got an accountability partner in the background and you've told them you're going to do something, right? You've set yourself a deadline for the week, whatever. You've got this little accountability angel on your shoulder going, why haven't you done that? Why haven't you done that? Right? Because, oh my goodness, they're going to check up on me as we go along, check up on me when we talk next, right? So accountability partners are, in Susie Manley's words, the duck's nuts. I love them. I think they're great. And Susie Manley is, I would say, one of my accountability partners because we challenge each other all the time. And, of course, give yourself a good kick up the arse if you need it, right? I do this regularly. Like I said, I've done this morning. I had to do it a lot yesterday because in all honesty, with all this recording that I had to do, I started to procrastinate yesterday morning and I had to go, come on, Ali, you've got to get this done. I had to give myself a kick up the bum. And actually, to be honest, I actually do it most days. Because it's easy, like it's easy for when you work for yourself and you don't really have, let's be honest, anybody to answer to. It's easy to say, I'll do it tomorrow. You know what? I'll just do it tomorrow. That's fine. But guess what? Tomorrow never comes. And what you end up with is twice as much to do today. So if you need to, give yourself a big kick up the bum. All right, now upskill as well. I'm looking at the time, I'm going to have to hurry. Continued learning is necessary to keep up to date. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, right? There's always something more to learn. Things are changing in business constantly. Things are changing in in your specific area constantly. So it's necessary to stay up to date as much as possible, both in your chosen field and also in business itself, right? So it is important to continue to upskill. And it's by doing this, it's going to help you overcome any hurdles and blocks you might have, right? If you don't know how to do something, go and find out how. Yes, you could try to figure it all out yourself, right? But it's going to take a lot longer, and most likely you're going to get a lot more frustrated with yourself along the way if rather than going and just finding even if it's a mini course, to find out how to do it, to upskill yourself in whatever area you need to do that. Okay. It's easier to hire a course than it is to figure it out for yourself. And it also helps you, of course, keep on track to achieving your goals, right? Once again, this is all about eliminating the frustration that you might have by trying to do it yourself. Okay. And now, yes, you can attend workshops and masterclasses. You can absolutely attend them. And there are a lot of fantastic workshops and masterclasses out there. Absolutely. Now, here's a little caveat I want to put on this. Do not fall into the trap, like I did, of believing that you can attend all the free masterclasses and workshops or the cheap ones, right? And when I say cheap, I mean maybe I don't know, $20 to $50, and believe that you're going to learn all the in-depth knowledge that you need. That's just not going to happen, people. It's just not, right? Because you go to a free masterclass, you're only going to get a little bit, you're going to get, a little teeny tidbit of the knowledge that these people have. If you go to a paid masterclass, you're going to get a little bit more, right? Depending on the price of the masterclass, how long it goes for. But if you go to a $30 masterclass that goes for an hour and a half, you're going to get a little bit more knowledge, but you're certainly not going to get the in-depth knowledge that you need, okay? So the reality is, and I'm just putting this out there, and I don't apologize for this. The reality is that you need to invest in yourself and invest in your business to get the deep knowledge to grow and to be able to upskill where you need to upskill. Okay. All right, let's move on. So up-leveling and outsourcing is a fantastic way to save time. And this is an interesting one on a couple of levels, because you might like to outsource smaller things that you don't like doing, right? Or that aren't in your zone of genius. Like maybe building a website. So that's a one-off thing. Once you've built a website, it's going to stay there for a few years, right? Setting up landing pages might be something that is not your zone of genius. So you might want to outsource it. But let's face it, guys, right? These things, so they don't always have to be put in place when you're starting a business, okay? Because, and again, the reality is many people aren't yet that financial enough to be able to afford these types of services just yet. So that's why sometimes it's better to upskill and learn it yourself than to outsource. On the other side of that, you might be financial enough to outsource. But this is why I personally suggest in business that you don't consider this option until you have put the other things that we have suggested this morning into place in your business first, right? I don't suggest you do these types of things until you have a consistent client base where you can now, the money's coming in and you can afford it. Again, you can bring on team members to help you grow, right? This is, again, where you need to have, I strongly believe, have a consistent client database, consistent income, and also where you're prepared mentally to teach someone else your business, how your business runs, and the strategies that you use in your business, okay? And this is where I suggest hiring a virtual assistant might be the best thing for you. And this is a really exciting level to get to in business. Let me tell you, I mean, I know when I first hired my first virtual assistant, I was dead scared? Hell yeah, I was scared. Oh, yes, I was. But it was one of the best things I did for my business, because at the time I was ready to take that next step, to go to that next level. Okay. I was prepared to teach someone else how my business runs. Virtual assistants aren't someone who you can just hire and they're going to come in and do everything you need to do. You've got to take the time to teach them to learn your business, right? Just the same as when someone starts a new job. And even more exciting is when you train a VA in your business, right? And the strategies that you have, your own leadership is going to grow extensively. You're going to feel yourself stepping into that leadership role, especially if it's something like me, who I never really truly believed that I had that leadership ability until I brought on a team member. And ironically, you know, I came from a job where I was a leader. I led a team of about 10 people, right? But I still never felt like a leader, ironically, until I had a virtual assistant. How weird is that? But it's true. And so now I have brought on a second virtual assistant, and once again, and this was really funny, and it's only been I think about 4 weeks now, but when I brought on my second assistant, Z, it was like a whole other level, stepping up to a whole other level. And I'm just like, I would have a team meeting with the 3 of us, and I would feel like I had no idea what I was doing. So it was like my leadership skills had to step up again. I had to step up again as a leader. All right. So that again is exciting. It's teaching me, and that also, having that leadership skill with my team also helps me take that into serving my clients as well. All right, so we've gone a little bit over time. So now that you've got some ideas on how to save yourself time in business, right? How to optimize your output and optimize that time, you're 100% going to have more ability to output when you put these things into place, okay? You're going to be able to get your clients easier. You're going to be able to think clearer. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. And if you are personally, if you're watching this and you're at the stage where you're feeling ready to up-level and outsource, we can help you with that. So we have a little service where we help match people with virtual assistants themselves. We have matched quite a few businesses now with virtual assistants. You can see all our gorgeous VAs there. And we would love to be able to help you as well. So if you would like to have a chat with me about how we can help you find a VA, pop the word assistant in the comments, and we will be in touch with you on how we can help you with that. All right, so pop the word assistant in the comments if you would like to talk about how you can bring on a virtual assistant in your business. All right. Thanks, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this training. I'm very happy because I think I finally managed to sort out my internet, and hoping it was a bit clearer today for everybody to watch. It hasn't been very clear the last couple of weeks, but we're getting better. I've sorted it out. All right, everybody, have a fantastic week ahead. I look forward to speaking with you on that call again. If you would like to talk about up-leveling and bringing on a team member into your business, such as a virtual assistant, pop the word assistant in the comments and we'll be in touch. And I will see you next Tuesday for more business growth insights, everyone. All right, bye.